Good morning, guys. How are you? I'm okay at the moment. I'm fine at the moment. Here we are. Craft your stash. Guess what? I don't know what I'm crafting. Going to rely on you guys. You guys can let me know what we're going to do within this hour. No, genuinely, I don't know what I'm going to do here. Sam came to me this morning and goes, Craig, what we're going to do in Craft Your Stash? I'm like, Sam, I don't know. I thought my emails weren't working, or I think they've just kind of thought, do you know what, Craig can just do his own thing this morning. It's his last day. If you've been hiding under a rock, today is my last day at Crafter's Companion on Crafter's TV. So I have, just so you know, I have come prepared. If you know me, over the 6 years on Crafter's TV, there's been many a times that the tears have come out. So yeah, they'll probably come out. Hopefully they'll hold off till later on with the final 2 hours. But yes, the tissues, they are ready. Man size as well. They're not allowed, apparently you're not allowed to say man size anymore. It's my last show, I'm just going to say what I want. They're man size tissues. Extra large they're called now. Man-sized tissues. So, yes, it's lovely to have your company. What we are going to do, though, is I am going to open it up to you guys at home. So is there anything specific that you need that little bit of help with when it comes to, is it the guillotine? Do you need a little 101 when it comes to the guillotine? Little 101 with the paper trimmer, maybe like the stamping platform, something like that. If it's something that is doable within this show, I will absolutely do it. Anything bigger, such as things like your foil press and all that, I would then divert you back to what we've done over the last couple of days. Or of course, if you do ask something and I'm not able to do it for whatever reason within this show here, I will do my absolute best with the helping hand of Rachel to divert you to a show that across on YouTube, on Crafter's Companion YouTube. But while we are here, let's say good morning. As I alluded to a moment, we've got Sam. Sam is in the gallery. Big Pop is there in the background as well, but it's me and Sam that are on this show. And then we've also got Rachel on the social. I'm here solo. Myself and Ben, we'll be here live 12 noon for an hour together for Wake Up Call, giving you a little bit of a preview as to what's coming up the rest of the day. Although I have also got no info on what's coming up the rest of the day. So even later on in today, we are going to be, well, I don't know, I'm just going to be doing what I'm told here. So it's going to be interesting to see what we've got coming up. I'd like to tell you what we've got coming up product-wise. I don't know what we've got coming up product-wise. And I've also got a funny feeling there probably won't be a lot of crafting as such going on throughout today. I think there's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of laughter with myself and Ben, involving all of you guys as well. And probably within that last 2 hour show, 2 o'clock here in the UK, 2 till 4. There may be tears, but let's hold fire on that one. Rachel is on saying, Trudy's in saying, good morning from Central Florida. Well, good morning to you. We've got Joanne Chrisman is saying, good morning, Craig from Central Ohio. Well, good morning to you too. Gillian Denton is saying, good morning from cool Suffolk. Yeah, well, I was waiting to say it is a little bit cooler today. I put the fan on there. I thought, do you know what? Let's end my time here with my kind of trademark fuchsia and blue suit. So that's what we've put on. I've had to put on the big fan because it is warm within the studio here. But another warm night during the night. Saying that to Sam, I couldn't get to sleep again last night, but I still put the fan on. Even though it was blowing hot air, the thing is as though I'm one of those, I like the sound of the fan. I think I'm that used to it now that if I don't have the fan on and I don't have that noise, I can't sleep. Although I did have it on, I still couldn't sleep last night. But it was because of the heat. I ended up watching a load of episodes of The Big Bang Theory. Still not watched that episode of a certain show that Johnny told me about yesterday. I will do that. I can't say it live on air, Sam, but Johnny, I'll tell you. It's on Channel 4. You'll be able to catch it on 4 on demand. Crafty Jack Cards is saying good morning. Louise Burton is saying, now you're all going to be asking what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, I can't say. Crafty Jack Cards is saying good morning, Craig. Louise Burton is saying good morning, everyone. Michelle Boyd is saying good morning. Rebecca Dancer is saying good morning, Craig, Sam, Big Pop and Rachel. And Melanie Bronvov is saying good morning, Craig, from Seattle, Washington. Good morning to you. Guys, UK, where are you? Where are you? It's 4 minutes past 10 in the morning. These guys here are, what's it, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. It's like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. It's like 5 a.m. Eastern, 5, 4, 3, 2 a.m. Pacific. And you're in, you're up, you're watching, you're commenting. You guys in the UK, you're slacking. Come on. Come on, the day's started. Get your comments coming along. As I said, if there is anything specific that you want to see, well, you've got me solo for this show. Myself and Ben later on, wake up call, and then for the 2 hours finale with me, we will help. So I'm having a look at the side here. As I alluded to as well at the beginning, so guillotine, scoreboard, we've got Ultimate Pro, the V-Blade paper trimmer, stamping platform, I've got my ink pads, I've got blending tools, anything like that. If there is anything specific, I'm relying on you guys to help us out, otherwise we're just going to be chatting for the next 55 minutes, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, just don't get me crying yet. That's the one thing that I'm asking. And Rachel, if there is any there that are going to then get me going, don't send them across just yet. Gillian saying, yes, Craig, same, hardly any sleep last night or for the last few nights. It's hot, and yes, I have the fan on too. Yes, it was the same the night before as well, as I was talking about yesterday. I love the heat, but not at night time. My bedroom has to be cold, otherwise I can't sleep. But because my house has got a lot of insulation in the loft, that obviously heat rises, as we all know, and everything heat-wise just rises upstairs, and then therefore it just makes it so uncomfortable. I was thinking about, you know how you see these little like box fans that you can put ice in that into the back, or a little cool pack into the back, and it starts to blow cold air. I was thinking about getting one of them. I might have a little wander to something like B&M or Home Bargains or something after. Samuel! Why didn't I think of that? Just get my Ninja slush machine going at the side of me at the bed. I can have a nice slush at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's a great idea, yeah. Love that, there we go. That's it sorted, that's my night sorted tonight. Nice little like mid-morning slush from the Ninja machine. What will I put in it? I can't put Coca-Cola in at that time. Well, I could do, couldn't I? Vodka. I'm not a vodka drinker. I'm a gin drinker and a tequila drinker. I don't like whiskey. I'm 40 and my palate can't sustain the taste of like whiskey or that. It just can't. No. There's a good Scottish word, Sam. I like that. Makes you boke. Boke. Scottish. Yeah, it makes me boke. Yeah, makes me feel sick. Yeah, it makes me boke. You know what I did buy as well? When I was at Duty Free, JFK Airport. You guys know, because I've talked about it. I've wanted to treat myself to a bottle of Dwayne Johnston's tequila, but it's rather expensive. There's 3 kinds, and you can only kind of get the original one. You can get it in Tesco's. Tesco's, great place, however, it's expensive. It's like 40 odd quid a bottle, 70 CL. So when I was at the JFK Airport coming back, they had the, is it not the 100 ml, the 1 litre. They had 1 litre, the original. They had another one that was, had a touch of vanilla, and then they had another one that was whiskey base. So I was like, oh, so the guy, you know, now that I look 40, you know, I look over 25 in America, so I don't get ID'd. So I went up, it was just the cardboard cut out of the rock and everything like that. That's what attracted me as well as the bottles. And the guy had all these little tasters. He's like, oh, do you want to try them? I'm like, yeah, too right, I want to try them. So I tried them, and I did buy one. Not the whiskey one, because, as I say, I'm not into whiskey. Didn't buy the original one because I thought, well, I can't get that back home. So I went with the one with a little bit of vanilla. Went for the one with a little bit of vanilla. But you don't actually take it with you to the plane. You get a ticket. And then they pack it up and they put it in a secure. And as you go on board the plane, you're duty-free sitting there. And then you take it. No, I didn't try and buy the rock stand. But what I did get, and as much as I've always wanted to try the drink responsibly, certainly at 8 minutes past 10 in the morning, if you are. Can you, oh no, sorry, I'll Google it while we're chatting away. Not Tamala, the name of the rock's tequila. But what I got, if you bought a bottle, what you did get is a free cap with the brand on it. So for me, I'm a sucker for things like that, you know. I was like, oh, I'll just, you know, I'll buy an X amount of bottle, which, can I just say, the moral, not moral of the story, the actual point of that story was that huge bottle was only like a couple of pound dearer than what it would be in the UK, but you got the larger one. So, yeah, I don't actually know why I got into that subject, but, well, I have now. And here we go, wait, Terramana, that's what it was, Terramana. So I've not opened it yet. I thought, you know what, I might have a little drink tonight. 'Cause the original one is good for things such as cocktails and that, and then the other ones you sip, which I like because I'm way past the age now of, you know, just downing it. Anyway, stop talking about drink, Craig. It's not appropriate. Kirsty D is saying, I think a lot of us Brits may be at work, Craig. I think a lot of us Brits may be at work, Craig. Yeah, you're right, Kirsty D, but you've proved my point. You're commenting. So even if you're at work, you can still comment. See? Haha, got you there, didn't I? Trudy is saying, Craig, how was sleeping at the night in New York City? Was it too noisy? No, it wasn't. The hotel room, obviously, nice and aircon. But no, I think it's probably because the windows are quite thick and need to be within New York City. But no, even then, it's just nice. You know, Newton Aycliffe, you hear the police and the fire engine and everything go past, you know, oh my gosh, what a noise. But you're in the middle of New York City and you're like, yeah, I'm in New York. That epitomises New York when it comes to the noise. You know, a Newton Aycliffe fire engine and a New York City fire engine, completely different noises. So yeah, no, I was fine with the noise. Lorraine is saying, good morning, Craig. Could you show me how to make a pretty gift bag using the scoreboard if you have time? Yeah, I can do. We can do that, absolutely. I've got some 12 by 12 at the side, so we'll do that in a moment. Crafty Queen on YouTube is saying, Scotland is here. Yes. Some of us are supposed to be working. We're crafting though, so of course we can multitask. No idea where my world flags have disappeared here into the chat. Also, you know, you may be working, you may be crafting, but see, you can still comment as well. There you are. So no excuse, Great Britain, no excuse. Right, I think we are pretty much up to date. And let's do exactly what Lorraine was asking there, saying, can you show me a gift bag? So just for a moment, Sam, I'm going to go out of shot. I'll keep speaking just while I get a scoreboard, because there's many different it's all right if I've broken them. I'm not here after today, so it doesn't matter, does it? I'm going to go around this way. Do you know what? Let's caution to the road. Let's go. I'm going to go. What one will we do? Well, we'll go that one. I've just found that one. Majestic unicorn. Let's go in. Have I broken that, by the way? No, it's not. Do you know what it is, right? I'm going to let you in a little inside secret here. I'm going to let you in an inside secret. At the side here, we've got a big table full of blending brushes, tape runners, scoreboards. We've got all of that, right? Usually it's up here. But the pedantic, pernickety person in me, I hate it being seen on screen. So I push it to the back. The only issue I've got then is I don't have a lot of room when it comes to actually taking stuff out. So that's the issue that I just had there. So yeah, I know sometimes you do see it kind of round about here. I always push it back because I don't like seeing it. I think it looks messy. Sarah is saying, I know this has probably been shown in the past, but I can't see how to use the sweet treat boards. Can we do something with that? I shall have a look. I do have got some boards down there, so we'll have a look at that, Sarah, and see if we can do that. Victoria's saying, I got a picture with The Rock while I was in New York centuries ago. Mind you, it was at Madame Tussauds wax figures, filled by my brother, though. We left on the Tuesday, so we left Manhattan. It was got the taxi. It was about 2 o'clock. It was about 2 o'clock. And then that night, in the next street, John Cena was in the restaurant with his wife. And he'd come out and he put his wife, true gentleman, put his wife into the car. And then he came back out and he took photos and signed autographs with everyone. I was like, because I've seen it on Instagram, I was like, Mum, why couldn't we have just stayed that little bit longer? Why couldn't we stay a little bit longer? I could have met The Rock. John Cena. Well, technically, if you know John Cena, I could say I did meet him, because John Cena, you can't see him. Right, let me get a scoreboard here. He's in here with me right now. He's platinum level as John Cena. John Cena is a huge advocate for our G2 machine. He's not, by the way, just in case lawyers are watching. Rebecca Dance is saying, Craig tried the pre-mix Mr. Whippy liquid in the slushy machine. Made lovely 99 ice creams. Oh, Sam's just gone, oh my God. See the day that I brought my slushy machine in, There was one person that was hovering around it all day. That was Sam. He does. I do love a slush as well, to be fair. I'm tempted. I really want to try a Red Bull slushie. I think that would be good. I know, they're not good for you. I know, but do you know what? I think it would be good. Anyway, shut up, Craig. Let's do a little bit of crafting. So here, gift bag. So what I'm going to do, I've got 2 sheets, and I'm going to have them so that they're both exactly the same way. So what I mean by that is, if I do just roughly pop them side by side here, you can see that I've got them in that full direction, top to bottom here. So I want to have a look. Do you know what? I'm going to go along. This is going to be the bottom here, because I want this to be the top. Now, you don't have to have a large guillotine. You can, if you want to, scoreboard. You can use your smaller scoreboard, but we're going to go around. So I'm going to start at the bottom here, and I'm going to score at 3 inches. So score at 3. Now, this is like a pearlescent card, so I'm going to do it lightly and a few times, and then I'm going to turn it back, and we're going to do it 3 times. So we can go in 3, lightly pressing down, and then what I can do is I can score at 9 inches. If you don't have a large scoreboard, don't worry. What to do is just turn it right around and score at 3 inches again. So in essence, what we have got is we have got our 12 by 12. We've scored up 3 inches, we've scored in 3 inches, and then we've scored in 3 inches as well. And then at the top, because you find these little gift bags that are kind of a little professional gift bag with that little fold along the top, I'm going to go in at 1.5 inches. You could go 1 inch if you want. You could do 1/2 inch. You don't even have to do it if you don't want to. That's entirely up to yourself. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the other one, and we're going to do exactly the same. So because this one is going to be my bottom, we're just going to make sure that that is also going to be on the bottom. And it just means then when you start to turn the gift bag around, you've got the image that's in that same direction. We're working it around 3 inches all the way. So from the bottom, from the side, from the opposite side, and then we'll go from the top, and then we're going to score at 1.5 inches from the top. Let's go in here like so, and then we're going to score. So once we've got both of them that are exactly the same, what we're going to do is we're going to then fold them and burnish them. Now, you guys know me, you know that I like to use my fingers to start with, and then I'll go in with my score tool or my bone folder and press it down. So we're just going to go in and then just work our way around, giving that a nice score. Of course, I could have done it the other way and worked it so we've got the unicorn on the front, but that's one. And then we can go in with the other one. Let's work that around, folding in along the score lines, and by doing it lightly and a few times, it's just enabling you to gently stretch the fibres, and it avoids you from splitting your card. Now let's open those back up. And each point of these are essentially kind of the same when it comes to the cut. There's just 2 different points. So on one of them, doesn't matter which one, on one of them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that square out there, and then we're going to cut that square out there. So there's one, and then I'm going to do the same on that opposite side. So we're going to cut up, let's turn that around, and we're going to cut around. Now, don't bin them, because you can use these as tags for your gift bags. What I'm then doing is, I tend to just do this separately. You could do it while you're actually cutting the square out. I'll go in just at a very slight little angle, just kind of making that so that these bits there are just a very slight angle, and then I can move that one out the way here. And then within this one here, what will happen is that will then start to overlay over the top. So we can then take this second one, and I'm going to cut up, and then I'm going to cut up. So both exactly the same, score, etc., etc. The difference is this one, we've cut the squares out, and then this one, all that I've done is I've just cut up to that score line. Let's turn that one around, and then I'm going to grab my tape runner. Use your tacky glue if you want to. This is a coated card, so I would avoid your all-purpose glue, and I would use your tacky glue if you want to, or of course your tape runner or your red liner tape. That will work, an absolute treat. So I'm going to pop my tape on that base panel, and then I'm going to line that up straight over the top, like so. And then once I'm happy with that, we're going to press. I'm going to rub that up, build up that heat when it comes to the tape runner. And then what we're then going to do is these two bits here, I'm just going to turn it around so I can pop my tape all the way around here. And then I'm going to do the same on that one here, like this. And this is a great gift bag to do with your double-sided tape, because what's then going to happen is then you've got imagery on both sides. So I'm just going to then lift that one up, and then I'm just going to then pop that in like so, and we're just going to line it up at the base and press that one in like that. And then I'm going to come with this one and do exactly the same. So let's lift it up. I'm just doing it so you can, there we go, if we go that way, so you can kind of see, bringing it in that way, press down. And then these two parts, what we can do is fold that one in, fold that one back in. You can tape them down if you want to. I don't tend to, because if you do go into a high-end gift store and you get a gift bag or that, you know that these flaps are kind of loose inside, and it's the ribbon that kind of holds it together. And because that's going to go in like that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my tape onto this panel here. You can add it onto the top, and you can put a score line down the centre here and here. So if you wanted it to have it that kind of like bit of a gusset, then of course you can do that, or you can leave it as it is. Or what you can do is you can create your own by actually pressing as you adhere it together, which I'll show you. So then we're just going to then lift that one up, and then we're going to fold that one in like so, all the way along. Let's press that in with my hands, and then align that one up like so, into place. And then you can take your hole punch or a circle punch, something like that, punch a few little holes. And this is the point I was meaning, that what you can do is you can then kind of manipulate your own score line in there, just pressing in. But if you go in then, press in, punch your holes, what you've then got is your gift bag, which is 6 by 7.5 inches. So you've got a gift bag there that's 6 by 7.5 inches. Put some ribbon in it. You can put some shredded tissue paper in there. You pop whatever you want in there, and then you can even then start to manipulate the sizes if you want to. So there's a gift bag that you can do from 12 by 12 in a scoreboard. And as I said at the start, although I use the large scoreboard, you do not have to have a large scoreboard. You can simply do that on a smaller one. So hopefully that helped. Let's see what everyone else is saying. So Sam's asking, have I met any wrestlers? He's just curious, that's all he is, it's just curious. There is other techniques in that you want to see, so we will do what we can. But Sam's asking, have I met any wrestlers? I've not, but years and years and years ago, when I first started watching the WWE, WWF at the time, and they started to come to the UK. They'd done a tour and they'd done a show in Aberdeen. I don't know if you remember a wrestler called, well, it was called Hardcore Holly, Bob Holly. So when he first started, he was Bob Sparkplug Holly. He was like a motor car racing, that was his character. Anyway, he was Bob Holly when, it was like Hardcore Holly, when I went and watched it in Aberdeen. And I was just on the aisle. And then, so he came down, so he was slapping the fans' hands. Obviously, I don't know what I would have been at the time, 14, 15, maybe something like that. So a big muscly guy walking down slapping hands, obviously, it's a lot harder than he thinks he's actually doing. And my hand was stinging for days, absolutely stinging, because the hand slap as he was walking down the aisle, it hurt. So no, I didn't meet anyone, but that was like the closest that I got to potentially of meeting a wrestler. I've not actually met a lot of famous people over the years, to be fair. Not many at all. Lorraine is asking, so that was the gift bag that I showed you, Lorraine. Hopefully that helped. Let me know. Obviously, Sarah's asking about the sweet treat bag. We'll have a look there. We've got our Rachel saying, I occasionally get slushes from the shop on the army base where I picked Teddy up from nursery. Slushies seem to have like a little bit of a resurgence, haven't they? I think because like ninja machines and stuff like that. Although in my opinion, you cannot beat a slush puppy. Slush puppies are the best. Absolute best. Absolutely love them. Although I don't think they taste the same because they've taken out all the stuff that made it taste good. Yeah, yeah. Victoria, the Craft and German, is saying on YouTube, is saying, how about making a gift box with acetate? I need to make teacher gifts and have the acetate printable acetate, Halloween printable acetate, but want to use the red gingham one as it's a school summer dress pattern. It needs to be big enough for an A4 sized planner. Right. If it needs to be big enough for A4 size planner, oh, could you do it out at 12 by 12? Because if it's a planner, it doesn't need to be thick. It needs to be, I think we've got acetate down there, so leave that with me. So I'll go and have a look and see if there's the sweet treat boards and acetate just at the side. Cindy Connie is saying, love the size of that gift bag. Thank you very much. Alexandra is saying, nice gift bag. And Dina is saying, I love that, so quick and easy. It is, it really, really is. It's a simple one, and it's quite a sizable one as well. Stephen Nicole, Stephen is saying, I thought you were dead. Saying, I can remember the wrestling being on Sky One before it was on pay-per-view or the sports channels. I remember that as well. That's why I am buzzing that it's now on Netflix, because I don't have to pay a premium for the wrestling, which I had to do for about 28, 30 years. Had to pay, because it went to Sky Sports, then it went to BT Sports, and it was always, the wrestling was always on the channel that you had to pay for. Right, Sam, I'm going to go out of shot, but I'm going to keep speaking here because I will talk you through what I'm looking to do. So I'm just looking to see if we do have any of the sweet treat boards and also the acetate, and see if we can fulfill. So we've got, that's a sweet treat board, isn't it? Do you know what? We've got that many boards with different names. I'm sure that milk carton one is a sweet treat. I'm going to leave it out just for a moment, just in case. One of those, the thing that I love about our scoreboards or embossing boards is the fact it's that satisfaction that you're like doing it from scratch, where you're scoring and then you're cutting and then you're shaping, you're assembling, that sort of stuff. So let's have a look. So I think so the sweet treat has the mustache and so Sam, there is multiple sweet treats, Sam, there is indeed. So like I say, we'll just keep chatting. We've got some more, so we'll just chat away while I'm just having a look here, because we've got a selection of them. That's one, isn't it? That's also, that's Sweet Things. So that's potentially one. That's the thing, yeah, because they've all got names on that sweet sort of. I can show you the concept of the embossing boards, if that's going to be any help, because I know sometimes some people struggle with the card staying in place, and then obviously about the ball tool falling out of place, but being able to keep it in place and that sort of stuff. And then what I'm also going to do as well, just so that I can keep it all together, i.e. I don't keep disappearing off a shot. Let's look at the acetate right now, and then hopefully, while we chat away, we see, wait, you see, you know something, there's always, oh, here we go. Here we go. Yes, we've got acetate. Right. So unless there's any other specific questions, hopefully, guys, apologies, I shouldn't have to go off shot. Right, the embossing boards. The embossing boards work with the Ultimate Pro. So you can sit them in the Ultimate Pro and it holds them and it hugs them and then it keeps them in place. You can absolutely use them on their own if you want to. You don't have to use them with the Ultimate Pro. I would always recommend maybe just like taping them down. So I've got my board. Let's go in then. I'm going to do the popcorn one, because this is going to show you the concept of however you use any of the boards. It's about scoring, it's about the positioning, and then hopefully that's going to give you a helping hand when it comes to other embossing boards. So let's take that one here. I'm going to take a bit of cardstock. Sam's just told me he sees a comment that he thinks that I'm going to enjoy. So I'm just going to grab some So Cat Butt from Montrose. Cat Butt, it's lovely to see you this morning, Cat. So yeah, I don't think it's popped up yet, so read it to me, Sam. Okay, oh, so say that again. So Cat Butt's son, so our son Jake had met Scotty Too Hotty and X-Pac in Aberdeen fire station when they visited. Wow. Wow. I got 2 words for... I can't say that at 10:30 in the morning. If you know that you know, get crafting. That's what I was going to say. Can I do a worm on the table? No, I can't even do a worm on the floor, never mind on the table, Sam. I know Catty had done the splits last week on the tables. Ah, there we go. That's it come through now, Cat. But yeah, my son Jake met Scotty Too Hotty and X-Pac when they visited Aberdeen fire station. One of them is a fireman. Yeah, I'm sure it's Scotty Too Hotty. I'm sure it's him that's a fireman in real life. Because some of them do have other jobs as well. Right, scoring. Let's take low tack tape because this is going to be a helping hand as well. I'm going to stand for this one and then tape it down. So it helps to hold. Now, if you're using the board out with the Ultimate Pro, then this is where at any point you can just go in and then tape it down. I tape it loosely on one side, and what I mean by that is there is nothing wrong, and you will, and I do it as well, lifting and looking. Lifting and looking. Sometimes you feel you have to put it down and then you have to do it in a oneer. That's not the case. You are going to, at times, lift and look. So all that we're doing is I'm going to start where I think here, and then we're going to let that travel. So I'm going to hold and work my way along until I feel that's going to go no further. Then at this point as well, I can lift, and then I can see we're going down to the bottom here. I'm letting it do its thing until I feel that resistance. I'm going to have a look because I can, and then I know I need to then go along and back up, but I also know I've got like glue tabs, so I can work my way round within the glue tabs. I know that there's one there, like so, and I know we've got a line there. I can't remember the rest, so let's lift and look. So I can go up to the top. Can't remember again. So lift and look. And then we're going to go down, along, following that channel all the way up. Can't remember, so we're at a little stop. So let's finish that off. We've got our glue tab, follow down, in. And if you fall out of place, don't worry, because I've gone on a flat surface there and scored. Because it's a flat surface, it won't transfer through. You'll only get an embossed indent where your ball tool runs into the channel. So if you do go out, it's not going to then transfer onto the opposite side. It'll only transfer if I accidentally go in any of those grooves. So to do something like that, and to do most of the sweet treat boards, you need to do it twice. So we're going to take that off just so we can use it. Now, the difference with most of them as well is when it comes to the second one, you don't always necessarily need that full base and glue tab. What I tend to do myself is I'll still draw around it all anyway, or emboss all of it anyway. So I'm just going to repeat exactly what I'd done a moment ago and work our way around. With this board, because you've got either the straight edge or you've then got your scalloped edge, so you've got that option, and we can work it. And then you can also have the option, do you want to cut on the inner embossed line? Do you want to cut on the embossed line? Or like me, do you like that really nice embossed edge that you can then just cut just to the offside of the embossed line? So have a look, lift. So I've gone out there, but because I've gone out onto the solid surface, it's not going to transfer through. So keep lifting and looking, lifting and looking. And then once I'm happy with that one, There we go. So that also can become a birdhouse. This is why you've got additional components there. But then what we're left with is two pieces that are exactly the same. And then all that we need to do is cut them out. So this is where I always, no matter what cutting that I'm doing, I always like to get rid of all that excess. For me, it just makes it a lot easier to cut out, although it's quite straightforward, this one. And then we're going to follow. So you can either, if you want to eliminate the emboss line, cut on the inside. If you want to have more of a guide, just follow on the emboss. Or if you actually want to have that emboss edge, just cut off to the side so that that emboss line is still showing. And then that gives you a nice little finish. So we're going to work our way around. You can use your craft knife if you want to. Whatever scissors that you want, that you feel comfortable. Into the edge, up to the top, snip that one off. And you can do this with acetate if you want. You can then come along with your heavier papers. You can pop it onto your pattern papers. What I mean by popping it on is I wouldn't necessarily create these little boxes or that out of pattern paper, as in they are round about the 180 GSM. So if you are wanting to use a pattern paper, what I would do is I would stick the pattern paper onto a heavier weight card, you know, to 240, 250 onwards, up to 300. Stick it on and then come along and emboss. And then once we've got to the edge there, we can then take the next one. We're going to do exactly the same. So go back to what I said a minute ago. There's only one of these that we actually need the base. But what I tend to do is I will still just cut out the whole thing. Just like I'll draw out the whole thing, I'll cut it out as well so that I've got two matching pieces. Let's work our way around. You could, if you wanted to, use the V-blade paper trimmer as well. You just need to take a little bit of care when it comes to the base with the glue tab. But because you've got that precision where it comes to the point of the V-blade paper trimmer, you've got that as an option. But because they're all straight lines, it is really easy, this one, to cut out. Just make sure you're using the scissors that you feel comfortable with. Into there, work that around, up to the top, and then that is our two pieces. Let's move that out of the way. And now, so I've got my two pieces. So what I can then do is just come along and I can just snip away the base of one of them. And then I'm going to then fold in, and then I'm going to fold in, fold, 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 and then fold. And then we're going to do the same with this one. Fold and fold. Then take our tape runner. Let's add our tape or your adhesive, whatever you want. And we're going to align that one up like so. I'm going to press that one down. And then on these glue tabs, we're going to do just that. We're going to glue them. We're going to put our tape. I'm going to put my tape onto this side here. And then we're just going to start to then assemble it. Now, if you're going to decorate it, it's exactly the same like box making. Decorate it before you assemble. The biggest tip that I can get. And then once you've got it assembled, you can then start to then, or once you've got it finished with the decoration, you can start to assemble it. And then we can come into here. Remember, you've got that scallop option as well at the top. Let's press that in. Then there we go. Nice, good old movie night. A load of popcorn, salty, sweet, or mixed. What do you like, Sam? You're not a big fan of popcorn. No, I'm not meant to eat it because of my stomach, but I do occasionally. Look at that. There we go. Do you know what? It could be, you know, if you like to make your faux flowers, things like that, that could be a little plant pot if you wanted it to be. It could be an additional little pot. You can do that. That's up to yourself. So although, do you know what, Samuel? It could do as a little bin, couldn't it? Nice little bin. It's not as though we've got a bin at the side here that Craig always just keeps missing. Although I'm like that. Be honest, you're like that at home. You've got a bin. In my craft room, I'm good. I've got a recycling bin, and then I've got just like a general bin. And I am good with the recycling one, but all the other bits I end up just throwing on the floor. It's like, what was the point of having a bin? Seriously, what's the point? So Sam, so you're like me, Sam. So Sam's like me, but Nicola, obviously Nicola used to work here, is quite bad. Let's hope she's not watching. No, I won't say that you said horrendous. Do you think she will be watching? Is she working today? Oh, she is. I know I did. I made it. Sorry, I'm just having a random conversation with Sam. You know, obviously you guys know who Nicola is. So she's working. She's been very, very busy. She's doing very, very busy. She's doing well. Rachel is saying, Sam, I'm telling her, here, Rachel, I've already told the nation, so you're all right, you're okay. Not only the nation, the world. I've told the world that Sam said that Nicola was horrendous when it comes to cleaning up. Sorry, Sam. Sorry. Oops. Right, we'll have a look at the acetate there in a moment. So if there is anything else that you want to ask while you've got me solo, it is, of course, for anyone that doesn't know, today is my last day here at Crafters Companion, Crafters TV. Also reiterating what I'm saying, I'm going to say it later on, and I'm going to say it because I did say a few things yesterday. I am not leaving because there is anything wrong. I am just wanting a little change. That is it. If there was something wrong, do you think they would be wishing me a goodbye? No, I don't think so. So there is absolutely nothing wrong. Just wanting a little bit of a change. Miss you guys. I'm going to miss all these guys here. You're all in safe hands. And I'll be watching and I'll be championing you on and I'll be speaking to you on social and that as well. So that's all. That's the only reason that I am disappearing from Crafters Companion, but it'll always be in my heart. That is for sure. Cindy Connie is saying, I aim for the bin, but the floor all around it has the scraps that didn't quite make it. Yeah, I get you on that one. That's what happens with me as well, Cindy. You know, you tend to just go like that, aiming it for the bin, and the heavier pieces go in the bin, and then do you know what? My carpet in my craft room, I know I've got a carpet in my craft room, it's not ideal, but I didn't know it was going to be my craft room when I moved in. My carpet may as well be branded Sticks 2 because it's the backing of the foam pads off a Sticks 2 all over my floor. It may as well be. My Hoover doesn't like it. Actually, I could do with a new one. Oh, 15 minutes, Sam's telling me. Is that kind of like, Craig, can you just shut up and do a little bit of crafting? No. Sam's like, do you want? Sam's like, but I can imagine, Sam's probably in the gallery like that. He's probably got his feet up going, you know what, do what you want. Do you want? What we will do is we'll have a look at that acetate. Did I bring it? I did. Yeah, I did. Didn't have a Halloween one, but we do have a Christmas one. So you were saying about an A4 planner. So let's see if this is going to be. No. It's not going to be an A4 planner. It's not going to be doable from a 12 by 12 piece of acetate. What you're going to have to end up doing, who asked that? Apologies. It was Victoria the Craft in German. You're going to have to do a bit of construction. If you're wanting to do it out of acetate, foiled acetate, you're going to have a little bit of a play and potentially extend it but hide the join. What I mean by that, I'm not going to have time to be able to do it within this show. What I'm meaning by that is, if you take, I know they're two different acetates, but I'm kind of just showing you here. What you're going to have to do is either kind of like glue or attach two pieces of your Halloween heavyweight acetate together. That's then going to give you a bigger platform that, if I do bring in another piece of A4, as you can see, if I was to put it that way, now I've got more scope to do an A4 box that we can see here. So if I just bring in that one 12 by 12, you can see, because certainly A4 UK is pretty much just a shy bit smaller than your 12 by 12. I know the UK A4 size, it's an awkward one. It's really, really awkward. So it's just about the size. So you've got no give. Think, you know, a planner, I'm thinking you're maybe thinking about an inch deep, you know, maybe an inch and a quarter, maybe an inch and a half. So you're going to have that extra edge there to create that depth. So you're not going to be able to do it out of the single 12 by 12, but even if you attach it, so even if you were to do an overlay like red liner tape or glue, and then what you can do is once you start to then size it, cut it, when you come to assemble it, what you could do is you could hide it with ribbon, or maybe you've got your border dies, you can die cut a border strip, stick that on so that you're hiding it. So it is doable, but you're going to have to do 2 sheets in that way. So hopefully, I think that makes sense. Hopefully it makes sense to you, and that is the only way. If you're really want to use our Halloween one, then you're going to have to do 2 pieces together. So it is doable, but you're going to have to do it over 2 pieces. And obviously, whatever you do here, you'll need to do again, because you'll then need to make the lid for it as well. But then that could look quite nice, because you could have a play with the size. So we could have it so that, like for instance, maybe the base of your box has got more of one design of Halloween, and then the top part has got maybe a little bit less of the other design. You've got a little bit of scope as well to maybe do it at a bit of an angle as well, just so it's depending on the thickness that you want it to be. As long as you've got that at each side when it comes to measuring, you can have a little bit of a play of the actual positioning of the acetate, what you want more of, what you want less of, if you want it at an angle. So it is doable, but you're going to have a little bit of a play, Victoria. Hopefully that helps. We have got, Jane is saying, it's red liner tape. It's the red liner tape that gets everywhere. Yeah, I get that. It sticks, it's the static. Do you know what? I know there's like lots of hints and tips. People say microfiber cloth. Some people say like a damp towel or that. I like my red liner tape, you know that. I can't find a solution for me. Nothing seems to be working for me. It doesn't bother me, it doesn't bug me whatsoever. But yeah, I know some people say, you know, maybe this will help or that'll help, but something I've never found. Victoria say, no problem, thank you so much for checking. You're very welcome. As long as you get the 2 pieces glued together, then you can then start to then follow along with what you would do normally, size-wise. Right, I'm going to have a little look. Shall we, because I know what we can do. The one thing that I always get asked, because you guys know I love my blending tools. Craig, how do you get a perfect blend on the cardstock with my blending tools? So will we do that? So we've got a little bit of time. I'm trying to think, what is it that you guys tend to ask me quite a lot that you want to see? So let's do that one. I'm going to go in, because I love my water reactive ink pads. So let's take, I've got my white smooth cardstock. I'm going to go in with my blending tools. So if I go in with, let's go in. I used that one yesterday, did I? Is there any comments there? No. Right, parakeet. Actually, let's go a little bit of parakeet and honey pot here. Craig, can you quickly explain the measurements or show how to make an 8... Craig, can you quickly explain the measurements or show how to make an 8x8 card? I'm having a mental block. 100%, I can do that. It's really, really straightforward. I get the mental block sometimes. I get that myself. We all do as crafters. But yeah, let's do that. Let me get another blending tool. I'll do that card blank, then I'll do this blending tool. 9 minutes, right, Sam, thank you. Let's take, I've got some shedless glitter card here. So there is actually, if you make your own card blanks, I'm going to have to get the guillotine that I knocked over. So obviously I explain this quite a lot. You guys know the card blanks that I use are from our friends down Gateshead at Sticks 2. I use theirs. In the UK, we are so lucky that we have such a variety of different size card blanks. In the US, you guys not as accessible. You've just got like kind of core sizes. So you tend to need to make your own. So there's 2 ways that you can do this here. And I'll show you kind of the way that I do it if I do make a card, and I'll show you the way that Debbie Robinson does it as well. I'm actually not going to use shedless glitter card. Let's use white card, because this is going to be the best way to show it as it is. So my way, when it comes to, oh, it's like Limp Bizkit, my way, isn't it? My way or the highway. We've got, Christy is this way. So 2 ways, there's maybe more than 2 ways, but this is one way that I'll tend to do it. whatever the size card that you're wanting, take your card. You're saying 8 by 8, so we can go 8 by 8, take another one, and then we can go 8 by 8. And of course, with our guillotine, we've got our score lines. What you can do, it's entirely up to you. 1/2 an inch, 3/4 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch, that's up to you. But you can go along and just score. Obviously, you do get a score tool, but ours has gone missing. And then you can then score along the top, add our tape here. Now, there is, and I'll put my hand up, there is a flaw with doing it my way. And that is, if we stick them together, like so, press that in. The downside, if you want to think of it, of doing it my way, is your insert is then 8 by 7.5 inches. So you've not got the full 8 by 8. The front is 8 by 8, but the inside is 8 by 7.5, because I've scored at the 1/2 an inch. If you want to avoid that, do it Robinson's way, and that is take one of your sheets and cut it to 8 by 8. So we're going to go 8 by 8, and then the other one, what we can then do is we can, and this time as well, it's up to you, the extra measurement. So instead of going 8, what we can do is 8.5, cut, turn it around by 8. So I've added an extra 1/2 an inch there. So let's bring that back in, and then let's pick a line, let's score at that 1/2 inch mark. And then instead of gluing on the inside, what you're going to do is add the glue on the tab, but then what you can do is then align that up and then fold that one over like so, press that down. So you've still got your 8 by 8, but what you've also got on the inside is 8 by 8. So that's the way that Robinson does it, and that's probably the way, do you know, even though I do it the other way, I would probably recommend it this way, because it gives you that full 8 by 8 base on the inside. And then, yes, you do have that little overhang on the opposite side. If it doesn't bother you, fine. If it does bother you, maybe take your ribbon border dies, maybe take a little border strip, something like that, just to cover it up, or pop your insert onto the back. That's up to you. So there's 2 ways in which you can create your own card blank, and that works for any size, absolutely any size, just whatever it is. You can either do it my way, or you can then, of course, just do it Robinson's way, Debbie's way. You can do that. So I'm just cutting a little bit down here. How long have I got, Sam? 4.5 minutes, right, yo. So I'm not going to spend too long here, but it's one that I get asked, like, oh my gosh, Craig, you love your square blending tools. How is it that you get a really, really nice blend? And it is what I always just call the run and jump. Now, it's not literally that you're running and jumping, but what I do is I'll start to go round on my glass mat, I'll take a run, and then I'll jump onto my cardstock. So I've got that motion rolling already while I'm coming onto my cardstock, and then if I need to, I'm just going to apply that more. I'm then just going to then start to roll, take a run and a jump onto my cardstock, so then I can start to get that really nice blend. Always remember though, if you're using any of your water base, you're going to have the oils that will potentially transfer onto your ink pad or into your card. So just pop a little bit of scrap, something like that. Take a run, jump onto your card, and then this is how that I always get a really, really nice seamless blend. Instead of actually going direct onto my card, which, you know, you can do, but you just need to be a bit more careful when it comes to doing it that way. Run, jump, and then you can then start to do your blends between different colors. You can do all your water-based effects if you want. You can use things such as your stencils, you can spritz, you can do your, not your snow, your salt effect, bubble wrap effect. You can do things such as the tinfoil effect when you spritz with water. But then there we go. That's how I will then do a blend onto my card, just taking that run and jump. And that was just something that came into my mind, because I know it's one that you guys ask me all the time. how that we can do a blend. So that is it. Right. Just a couple of moments left. So thank you so much for helping me through within this hour here. Hopefully I managed to cover the questions. I managed to at least cover all the questions that came through. If I wasn't able to actually physically show you, like I wasn't with Victoria, hopefully I was able to explain it and give you the best knowledge that I can. We are still going to be live the rest of the day, so if you're watching live in the UK, then myself and Ben will be back together for Wake Up Call. Wake Up Call, as you guys know, it's previewing what's coming up the rest of the day. I don't know what's coming up on the rest of the day, so that'll be an interesting show. That's going to be live in 1 hour, 5 minutes, myself and Ben, and then we'll have a break for an hour, and then we'll be back for the 2 hours, 2 o'clock, which is going to be my last show. And then Ben will be back live for an hour, live at 5, as Ben would say, for a Mosby Mix. For a Mosby Mix. So he's going to be doing a little bit of crafting, I believe, when it comes to that solo show. So for the final solo show of myself on Crafters TV, it's been so lovely to have your company. I know I'm going to say your name and we're going to be chatting away throughout the day and that, but yeah, if you're busy the rest of the day, if you've got work, you've got the kids, the grandkids, whatever it is, it's been lovely to have your company over the last 6 years. I'm going to really enjoy this day. It's going to be really sad. I'm going to try not think about leaving the guys here, because when I say they are the best team, I can honestly say that they truly are. We've had some laughs, but yeah, we've still got the rest of the day to go to have some fun. So hopefully you can tune in and join in and see what we've got coming up within Wake Up Call, and then the 2 hours of my leaving party. We'll try and do a little bit of crafting, but as it stands at the moment, I've not been given any information as to what products are on the show today. But you can have a look on the website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu. Have a little bit of a peruse there. You'll find some of the recent launches there. I think maybe the Coastal Collection sold out. You can have a look there. In the meantime, what you can do as well, go back to yesterday's launch and see different techniques if you did get a hold of that launch there. You'll also find the ability there to sign up to Club Inspire. Remember, it's completely free. You join there, and then the more you spend, the more the points, the more the benefits that you're going to get as well, and then that could take you up to the platinum level. Right, myself, Sam, the team, we will see you live in 1 hour's time.